In the world of weathers, there's really not a whole lot to write home about outside of these hot temps. It's more of a seasonal day, as I heard you say earlier today. But as we move on through the work week, we're going to see those temperatures really start to rise up.
Yeah, big time warming trend is on the way. In fact, today is going to be warmer than yesterday, and then we are just going to continue that through not only Friday, but into the weekend. Today is going to be a pretty seasonal day. It's going to be sunny and warm. High temperatures for most of us will climb into the 80s today. In Yakima, we are already waking up to sunshine, and sunshine is going to be persisting through the course of this Tuesday. As we look at the Tri-Cities, I do understand there are clouds overhead. Those are very apparent on the weather cam, but don't fear if you like the sunshine, because the sunshine will be in abundance this afternoon. These clouds will be going away in pretty short order. Here's your weather headlines today. Sunny skies will persist through this week. As Dave and I have mentioned, seasonally warm through the rest of the work week, but the weekend is going to be turning rather hot. We will talk about when highs will near 100 degrees coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Benton County. A pair of large wildfires that sparked over the weekend near Finley are now fully contained. Nearly 1,000 acres were scorched between the Ayers fire and the Les Blair fire, formerly known as the Orchard fire, after they ignited on Saturday. Firefighters say a metal shed and 2 power poles were the only structures to see any damage, but no power outages were reported. Fire leaders say this could be the start of a very active fire season.
It is a little bit early for this size of acreage to be happening. But, you know, this may be a non-typical year, but there have been years like this in the past. It really just depends on what the weather conditions are through the spring.
The Columbia Basin is currently at the moderate level for wildfire danger, according to the Washington State Department of Natural Resources. The Washington State Department of Health suspended the license of a Kittitas County home care aide pending further legal action. The man was charged with 1 count of second-degree rape and 1 count of indecent liberties in Kittitas County Superior Court. Both charges have a particularly vulnerable victim modifier with them. The man cannot practice in Washington until the charges are resolved. He has 19 days to respond to those charges and ask for a hearing. And we're learning a bit more about a man found dead in the Columbia River about a week ago. He was found about 5 in the evening on May 24th near Mound Pond, which is across the river from Port Kelly. Benton County Sheriff's deputies say it appears he had been there for several days and was wearing work attire with thermals and boots. He also had a black motocross t-shirt and tattoos on both arms, legs, and chest. They don't know who he is, and there was no ID with the body. More testing, officials say, is needed to be done to confirm the cause of death. The Department of Homeland Security is getting pushback over a list of sanctuary jurisdictions that no longer appears on their website. The list of cities DHS views as obstructing immigration enforcement was published last Thursday and has since been removed. City leaders from red and blue communities across the country argued the list doesn't make sense because they're not sanctuary cities. In a Fox News interview on Sunday, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem didn't address the removal, but says cities pushed back on their inclusion.
They think because they don't have one law or another on the books that they don't qualify, but they do qualify. They are giving sanctuary to criminals because they're not backing up our ICE officers.
A senior DHS leader says the list is continuing to be updated. Yakima was one of the cities on that list, along with several others in Washington state. KIMA's John Franklin spoke to both city and county leaders and tells us more.
The city actually first became aware that Yakima was on the list on Friday morning. And we don't know why Yakima was included on that list. We don't know why the list has now been taken down off of the DHS website, but we're working to find out.
Yakima was one of 5 cities in Washington on the list of sanctuary jurisdictions, alongside Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, and Everett. City of Yakima spokesman Randy Beeler is confused as to why his city is on the list.
At one point in time, one of the councils did consider what was referred to as a welcoming city resolution, but that ultimately that resolution was not adopted by our council. So there's never been a policy in place that is a welcoming city policy, nor a sanctuary city policy.
35 out of 39 counties in Washington state were on the list released by the Department of Homeland Security. We've mentioned that Yakima County wasn't on that list, but they're also joined by Adams, Douglas, and Klickitat counties.
And I definitely credit that to a couple of things. One, I've been very vocally supportive of the Trump administration and ICE's efforts to really remove people who are here illegally, especially those who are committing crimes. And I think that a partnership is what the Trump administration is looking for.
Commissioner Amanda McKinney thinks that the city of Yakima's inclusion by the DHS could have been a mistake.
By our accounts, the city of Yakima is obviously separate. We know the difference. We live here. And I do know that there were lots of talks of around the community here locally, but also nationally about inaccuracies on the list, which is, I think, why, they went ahead and pulled the list.
Washington state was known as a sanctuary jurisdiction because of the state law which prohibits state or local law enforcement to find the immigration status of community members.
Yakima County and other jurisdictions similarly who believe in law and order are willing to work within the constraints of any state law that overlies. But we're wanting to work with the federal government when it comes to this issue.
For Action News, I'm John Franklin.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. And you can watch that full interview with Amanda McKinney up on our KIMA YouTube channel. The region's first recovery center is one step closer to completion. A ceremony was held yesterday afternoon at the site of the Columbia Valley Center for Recovery for the unveiling of the facility's new logo. Constructed on the highly anticipated complex, has been underway since October at the site, which used to be the Kennewick General Hospital. Leaders say this is just the beginning of getting much needed services in our community.
We're going to save and transform lives here. We are going to save costs in law enforcement, medicine, welfare, child welfare, and many other services.
This was an effort that is so sorely needed in society today because we have so many issues anymore with mental health. And this is just another step forward to help with that.
More than $3.8 million in state funding has been brought in for the project, as well as a private donation of $1.1 million from a Franklin County family. The center is expected to officially open in early 2026. And if you plan on flying soon and leaving your car at the airport, be prepared to arrive a bit earlier. The airport is making some changes. The long-term blue parking lot will be closed for a few weeks due to repairs being made, which include crack sealing and adding fresh paint.
Do it, then it's going to lead to worse problems and it's really going to tear up the pavement. So this is just preventative maintenance to protect it for, longer time. Just caring for your stuff is what it is.
There is still parking available in other spots. You may just have to walk a bit further. Officials say these repairs are going to help with bigger projects, such as possibly adding a new walkway. Switching gears this morning, the Yakima Valley College Foundation is getting ready to award $700,000 in scholarships to its students. The scholarships will be awarded during a reception on Thursday. More than 175 will be getting a scholarship with the average reward of about $4,000. The scholarship money is coming from 150 donors, and the YVC Foundation has given away $8 million since its inception in 1977. The Sunnyside School District is once again offering free meals, summer meals, to all children 18 and under. The program runs 8 weeks with meals served Monday through Friday at 3 locations: Sunnyside High School, the community pool, and the community center.
For a lot of our students, the school year, the 2 meals they get a day, breakfast and lunch, those can make up a big majority of the meals that they get. So for that 2.5 months in the summer, if we were not to offer that, there'd be a big percentage of our students that would be hungrier in the summer.
Breakfast and lunch are available at the high school during summer school, while lunch is offered at the other 2 sites. Last summer, the district served between 10 and 12,000 meals with an average of 300 kids a day.
So this really fills that gap during the summer months to give us a chance to make sure that the students still have an opportunity to get at least one good meal a day, to support them during the summer so they can still learn and grow and play and be ready to come back in the fall for the school year.
Now, the meals are easy grab-and-go options with a rotating menu that include pizza, burgers, along with options like orange chicken and baked beans. The program starts June 16th, running until mid-August, and participation is simple. Just show up and pick up a meal. There's no sign-up required. For more information, head over to our website, KIMATV.com. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather for today, because temperatures are on the warm side. Warming trend. Things, though, might be pretty decent around the lunch hour to get outdoors and maybe do a picnic.
Yeah, sure. We are going to be looking at temperatures in the 70s for most of us around that time. It's going to be great around your noon hour. Even as a whole this afternoon is going to be pretty nice. Temperatures not terribly unusual for this time of year, only straying about 5 degrees or so from average. Highs will be into the upper 70s to mid 80s around the forecast area on this Tuesday. Now, as we go through the week, to Dave's point, we are going to go through a pretty big warming trend. 90s back by the end of the work week, with a threat of triple digits by the end of the coming weekend.